Okay, guys, second best of 5 here at the ALW. Yeah, I got this right this time. So, the Polish league, we're in the playoffs. We already saw the match between the leftovers and between the vegan dumplings. Hold My Beer is currently going up against negative win ratio. That's our two remaining teams here in the tournament, so it's all about that, of course. So let's see how exactly this is going to hold up. We have already had a couple of games from Hold My Beer on the channel. They also play in HeroesLounge, so if you actually watch a lot of Khaldor TV, a lot on YouTube, or a lot on the live stream here, you should have run into them at some point already. But they go up against the negative win ratio here. This is like an all-Polish lineup, as we said before. That's also why we have the leftovers that are still in the tournament, waiting in the grand final now for their opponent. They are playing with ADRD even in here. So, yeah. Medivh banned out. Anna also taken care of right away as we're heading into Infernal Shrines, our first map. And I gotta admit, I don't really know how those teams measure up against each other. Now again, this is a Polish league that we're casting here, which obviously limits the player pool a bit. But everyone that we've seen so far is playing on Master and Grandmaster level. So there is definitely a certain standard to what we are going to check out here. We have also a ban on Diablo, and Maiev has been taken out too, which leaves us actually with a couple of really strong heroes still. First of all, Hanzo is still open. We have also Tyrande still available. And Nuburak, I mean, he has been established as one of the main tanks these days with all the engaged potential that he has. So Bartek just wastes no time whatsoever and takes him immediately. Right away, you're thinking Jaina, Tyrande, Malfurion. Those are usually heroes that we see with that. And since we now have Alexstrasza and Zeratul as an opening, I would recommend to pick that Jaina quickly or ban her out. Because if you don't do that, then, well, we're going to very likely have a Void Prison into a Ring of Frost setup. Sylvanas! Alright, so someone wants to win that game early. Grab that Punisher and go full John Cena with it. Straight through the middle and try and take them out. Let's see if that works out. I would still expect at least the Jaina ban now. Again, if you don't pick her, ban her. If you have a Zeratul with a Jaina against you, gonna be tough. They're hesitating. I am questioning the hesitation here. That should be an insta ban. Are they actually gonna allow them to pick Zeratul and Jaina? Thank God they don't. That would be asking for punishment. If you like pain, that's something that you allow to go through. So, let's see. How is this gonna play out now? We have... Okay, Gul'dan for the AoE, that's fair. I mean, he can get a lot of damage through when you have the Void Prison set up as well, but normally you want to have a bit more bang in there. There's a couple of other heroes that you can really use for the setup. Johanna, then with Wave Clear, not only on lane, but also on the Shrine is great. Gul'dan has that in spades. You have Zeratul for the poke. So a pretty decent setup here, actually, for negative win ratio. I mean, with that said... Let's see. Hanzo, okay. Hanzo and Dehaka, so adds a global to the mix. Hanzo and Sylvanas. But there's a lot of stuns too. I gotta admit that I like the composition of negative win ratio a bit better, but if Hold My Beer is able to get a couple of Punishers there, they might just be able to use Sylvanas to absolutely murder those structures and barrel through the lanes. So what's the last pick on the side of negative win ratio? They could still play this with another melee for the offlane, or you can offlane Zeratul at the start. It's like two options. Second might not be the best. But they go Blaze. I like that draft more and more that they have. I have never seen that skin in action, by the way. So, well, we head straight into our first game. A best of 5 here in the upper bracket semi-final between Hold My Beer and negative win ratio. Game number 1, it's Infernal Shrines, and to the left for Hold My Beer. Balsa on Hanzo, Scope on Whitemane, Gore Rider on Sylvanas, Kolatka on Dehaka, and Bartek on Nuburak. On the right side of the map, on the other hand, we have negative win ratio with Defcio on Gul'dan, Dyla on Alexstrasza, Robo on Zeratul, Rudi Udeosh on Johanna, and Poshishny on Blaze. Pokishny? Probably Pokishny. Alright. Either way, he's playing Blaze. And in terms of talents, do we have anything that really totally stands out? I mean, the one thing that we might mention here is the enhanced agility. It's not like it's too insane, but still, gonna point that out. A little bit of damage against the Nubarak immediately as he enters the frame. But with that said, cleave build, obviously, for Zeratul, that he's going to try and continue throughout the game. For Sylvanas, we're going into the uncurling shadows, trying to stack that damage towards the late game, and the brawl is on here in the middle. Brawl, 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 baby. Yeah, here comes the jet propulsion, 3-man, and the first kill. Hanzo is dead, but he's not the only one. That's a solidarity death that we see here from the Hakas. He falls too, but at least Sylvanas gets a bit of value by getting a drop against Zeratul. So a counter kill for them. Yeah, mitigating some of the damage that was already pushed onto them in this case. So 4 stacks for Sylv through that little skirmish here in the early stages. But of course, when we're talking stacking, we're also talking Gul'dan. And he has been able to pick up a couple for his level 1-2. So the hero that we probably have to watch out for the most right now is definitely Zeratul. With Hanzo on the map, with Sylvanas there's definitely a few squishies that if you are a good Zeratul player, you might be able to do a lot. I love the spray here for Dehaka. I absolutely love this. It's one of the best sprays in general, but if you are an actual Dehaka player using it, it's absolutely fantastic. I always admire people that just have a spray game that is absolutely on point. My own spray game is absolutely terrible. I select the sprays and then when I'm playing, I never use it. Maybe at the beginning of the game, but once the games actually start, I don't think I ever remember that I wanted to spray anything. So yeah, spray game on point so far for Dehaka. We're going to keep our eye on that. He's going to be able to drop that a little bit more. We already have down to the bottom of the map a bit of camp action happening as both teams took their own Khazra camp. But yeah, Winrate is here. Bartek takes over, says thank you very much for doing all the work. We are gonna take that now if you don't mind. You don't love it. Nice attack attempt here against Zeratul too. Still had the blink available and moved away from it, so that wasn't an issue. Also, Zeratul with a psionic strength on level 4. Okay. Might see a few more adjustments from him. So we'll see. That said though, already we're having here in the middle of the... first of all, the Shrine is spawning at the bot lane. But we're having both of the teams now moving up to the top, trying to get their Shaman camp perfectly timed around the objective here. Well... these two are going to need a little bit more time. Like, I'm not quite sure how to tell you that, but you two don't really have a lot of damage to take that camp. So, they're just sitting there. Pew! Pew, pew! Pew! Pew, pew, pew! And finally are able to take it. But they are a little bit late with it. Doesn't really matter because there's no immediate jump onto the shrine by any of the teams, but that could have led to a slight lead. This is of course the big advantage. Having Dehaka up here that can take it down, that is fantastic. And Dehaka is already burrowing in here all the way in the back as they're following an Uberak and trying to get a kill there. Yeah, well, doesn't happen yet. Dehaka missing the drag here, no spray for this one. But look at Zeratul. Boy is low right now. Okay, Alex with the dragon form gets the heals through at this point, and they're starting to come back onto the shrine. And again, that's a big one. That's an arcane punisher that we're talking here. Zeratul with a bit of damage, jumps out immediately, but Hanzo delivers one shot after another from the outside, and they are pushed back heavily at that. Good circles from Alexstrasza. I really like the positioning here so far. The question still remaining, who gets this first one? Jet propulsion into empty space, zoning them out maybe. They're not really hitting anyone, and all of a sudden it looks like the blue team might just be able to grab this one. It's close though. It's 37 against 36. Who gets it? Oh, they could focus on it now, and there it is. The Arcane Punisher for negative win ratio. Job well done here. Whew. All right, close one for sure. Has to be baited over here. There's the bait. It's a little bit sad for Gul'dan, and he was actually stunned out there. That was a perfect setup to get a bit of echoed corruption value here. He's still sitting at 16 stacks, which isn't bad by any means. If he gets a few more through here, that would be fantastic for him. Get that early stacking going. I mean, the latest that you would normally want to complete the quest is of course around level 16 when you get your Ruinous Affliction. Zeratul with the Seeker in the dark. Now he is definitely taking, yeah, well, a few flexible talents here. I mean, Wormhole is kind of the choice. There was a time where we saw Seeker in the dark a little bit more often. So you can use that also for that movement speed, but it's not really the common choice to go for with Zeratul. We have Intercession taken on the side of Whitemane. 40 stacks for Sylvanas on the level 1 in the meantime. And of course, when you look at experience, the teams still pretty close. These jet propulsions are not connecting in this game. Gorrider is able to get away. That could have been a good one, but yeah, unfortunately Blaze wasn't able to connect that. And now unfortunately Blaze is a bit in trouble because he gets pretty much locked down here and barely gets out. But he gets out, and that's the important part. The Haka comes in too, joins the party, looks for the drag and doesn't find it, but oh, they nearly get the kill there. But let's not forget that Gul'dan was actually at the bot lane the entire time and was able to push the lane out. So that means that some of the experience at least got lost for the blue team. Not really a lot, don't get me wrong, it's not really that this is a game deciding moment here. But if you are able to consistently do that and deny a couple of minutes to your opponent, that is a pretty big feat and will matter towards the later stage of the game. Sylph is waiting a bit too long here to get away. I actually think Sylph had a chance to get away from this one, but yeah, the damage over time took her down. I mean, even if the Haka would have not stood in the way there, the DOT would have totally wrecked her. So Sylvanas tries to get some damage in against Gul'dan. Was actually aiming for a sneaky kill there. Couldn't get that and falls. Now we have level 10 on the board for the red team. And with the build that we've seen for Zeratul, is anybody surprised that we are actually seeing the Might of the Narazim? I'm certainly not. So yeah, Might of the Narazim is taken. No real reason to go for a Void Prison setup here if you don't have anyone to capitalize on it. I guess you could try and pull that off with Gul'dan if you time it really well. But we're also seeing Combustion. What is this? Division 7? What am I watching here? No bunker? Alright, Combustion is being played. Outside of that, we at least have for Hold My Beer, the traditional talents that you would take there. Sylph, once again, a little bit low. She's getting a lot of damage pushed onto her. Needs to be really careful. The arrow is glorious, though, and that's the end of Gul'dan. Gul'dan goes down, dropped by Hanzo, and they're trying, of course, to get another kill. Blaze, yeah, the drag is there. And that is exactly what they've been trying to do here. Minion gets hit by this one. Shrine activating in 10, and that means that they're going to have a bit of an advantage. I think at this point, they would have actually been doing pretty well with a bunker. I would have saved him for a little bit longer. Not a fan of the Combustion. We'll see if they get enough value out of this in the later stages, but you have to remember we have Scarlet Aegis as well, which is another great tool. Already bot lane experience being lost, but here in the middle the real fight starts. And there's the drag against Gul'dan, and that should be the end of him, and indeed it is. He gets a bit more damage out, but that's one hero down just as Blaze is coming back to join the party. And again, we're coming back to the problem that they fought a 4 versus 5 in the first place, and then also they didn't have a bunker. Not that it would have mattered here, because Blaze wasn't even there. Blaze wasn't even there, and now we're starting to go straight in deep again as Kolatka is trying to look for another drag with his Stehaka, but Hold My Beer is going to take this one. Hold My Beer is definitely going to take this one right here. I mean, this is going to be the Frozen Punisher through the middle. It's still the question how much they can do in the long run with this, but right now that fight was not really well played by negative win ratio. And to be honest, they also realized it at some point. They were looking at it and saying like, okay, like Gul'dan's down, we didn't wait for Blaze, we have to fall back. Didn't really use any of the heroic abilities, so they still have them available for the defense. But now the Sylvanas factor is kicking in here. Sylvanas is now able to just empower this entire push with the Punisher and doing exactly that. Helping to keep it alive a bit longer, and that should result in the first fort falling, and indeed it does. So job well done here. Fountain goes down too. They're still having Blaze sitting at the side here, and Anubarak is wasting absolutely no time. Immediately jumps away, so does Sylvanas, both of them moving out. And this is pretty much setting the stage for the mid game now, as we have level 13 talents. It brings us straight into the cold embrace for Sylvanas, and they're getting the kill against Zeratul. Pretty much random, to be honest with you. That's one of those few deaths that should not have happened at all. But of course, it's a fantastic setup for Hold My Beer. And there's the drag. That doesn't connect. The arrow does, though. And that's still the end. Good Horrify, but a bit too late. Could have maybe saved Johanna if he would have been dropped earlier. Sylvanas gets the kill, gets the stacks. Is sitting at 83 right now. And with 2 heroes down, they're starting to focus on the bot lane. Now Blaze is topside and gets some experience for negative win ratio, but at the same time that also means he can't really help with the defense here. And we have a Sylvanas in play. You all know what that means. It's easy peasy time on the structures. 6 kills against 3 right now, and Hold My Beer is gaining some momentum. Dehaka in trouble, gets the burrow through, but might still fall. The team is actually not even trying to help. So either Kolotka just said, boys, I'm fine, or the team said, well, we don't like you anyway, so if you die, who cares? They instead went straight for the mercenary camp at the bottom of the map. But it turned all out to be good. Balsa is just waiting to see if maybe Zeratul jumps in. Looking at the damage output, 34,000 for Sylvanas right now. Certainly doing well. So we have top side. Kolotka still getting his experience. And of course the Dehaka factor is just increasing as the game continues. The more space you have, the better for Dehaka to just roll this. Even burrowing in here on the other hand. Maybe a bit aggressive, to be honest. Could have started to push the top fort a little bit more, but he's waiting for the drag. Zeratul. And... Leak doesn't connect. Nope. Gonna have to practice that again. He's no Sugar Daddy 69. That's definitely for certain. Ooh, Blaze goes down. Blaze taken down, and yeah, these isolated kills are just continuing. There we go. And this time he's actually connected. Job well done. The arrow! Oh, short distance, but that's the end of Gul'dan at least. And they're getting Johanna too. The beetles are spawning, soaking up the shots, and Gorite, of course, can still disable that. They're trying to get the kill. Oh, it was a close one. But Alex Straza escapes. Job well done here. 4 down, and that's the 3rd one in the game. So far, this thing is starting to snowball in one direction, and it's not a pretty situation for the red team. Down 2 levels, down a talent at this point. Things are starting to get a little bit tough for them, especially since that Dehaka factor is, of course, increasing. Dehaka factor increases as the map opens up. And now that we have another Punisher, Mortar Punisher this time, happening here, this is another big one. Bot lane, the keep will be attacked here. Now they're trying to make the play for Dehaka. This is actually one of the moments where Kolotka needs to be careful, because he needs to know that there's a good chance he's going to get attacked here. Yeah, that's a misplay. There was no reason for him to be in that spot. Can he get out? Nope, Horrify interrupts it. And now he dies. That was definitely a mistake on his part. Shouldn't have been this far out in the first place. Now, granted, they can just delay this. They can just sit, yeah, exactly. Move back, go for 39, don't take the last hit, give Dehaka time to come back into play. But that was definitely a bit of a mistake on his side. If you don't have any vision on your opponent's team and they don't have an incentive to go for the Shrine fight anyways because they're down in talent, you shouldn't go onto the lane and move this far out. That gank, if it comes your way, will kill you. But they should have still the cooldown on the heroic ready. On the global ready for him. They can just wait it out. There's no way of the red team doing anything here. So yeah, they're timing it now with the respawn of Dehaka and gonna make the play there. So that works for him. Either way, 17 versus 16, and obviously like all signs at this point straight pointing towards that keep. Again, no connection. At least he's threatening it here. A little bit more stacks as they come in for Sylph, sitting at 94 now. Damage output is still pretty sweet, having a life drain, by the way, on level 13. Punisher baited over, wall about to fall. Sylph has to try and help out by disabling now the keep in the middle. That's gonna be a big one. Arrow, baby! Oh, and that's a dead Zeratul. Combustion comes in, and it just doesn't do enough. But can they keep Blaze alive? That's the question. Blaze. Oh, here comes the Horrify. That might just be enough to get a kill against the Nubarak in the back, but he's moving around. Blaze is down. The Punisher has fallen too, but so will the keep in just a few seconds. The keep is about to go down, and we have 2 heroes already eliminated. If they can get a 3rd, that would be the dream, and they go for Gul'dan, and they get him. They get Gul'dan. They might even get Johanna. Not quite. But the core is open. And are they going to try and make the play here? Looks like it. And with Johanna falling, there's no reason not to. Johanna is down. And that should be game number 1 as we have Hold My Beer making the plays here at the later stages of the game. Getting kill after kill quickly. 54,000 damage on Sylvanas. As we see game 1 concluded. Infernal Shrines. The victory goes to Hold My Beer in the best of 5. Game on, ladies and gentlemen, as we are heading into our second game. Dragonshire as a map, Hold My Beer with a lead against negative win rate. or negative win ratio. To be absolutely honest with you, now that that team name for some reason doesn't even fit completely on that side, we are going to cheat a little bit and we're going to rename them. Instead of negative win ratio, they are now semi-officially called negative win rate, and you know why? Because it actually fits onto the board without any spelling mistakes. So yeah, there you have it. Officially renamed. Anna banned out again. Medivh 2 reminds me of something. Can you refresh my memory? Oh yeah, game number 1 draft. Exactly, that's what we saw there. Now we have Sylvanas banned out too. Okay, that's actually an interesting one. That's something that you don't see every day, that you have a Sylvanas banned against your opponent. It's a little bit of, okay, does too much damage and also does end the game too quickly. Maiev gets banned out too. Now the quick question, of course. Are we going to see those super early Anubarak picks again from both sides? Or are we actually going to see... Yes, we do. Anubarak, I mean, he is the top tier tank right now. Let's just face it. Cocoon, the engages, the whole amount of CC that that hero brings to the table is just absolutely insane. Best Anubarak player at this point, in my opinion, still Stalk. I mean, that guy is a monster. With the timings, and not only him himself, but the entire team Russia, how they're playing is just absolutely fantastic with this. But either way, we have White Main and ETC taken. Okay, that's a very early ETC pick. Now, granted, ETC can of course be played in the offlane position. We talked a lot about Echo Pedal. Great talent if you want to play on the offlane position. Once you get your stage dive, you have a pseudo global at hand. But ETC can also be played in the main tank position. It depends highly on how your team is going to try and play. Depends on what you then play on the side lane. But I would really have expected ETC to be taken this early. But they like the hero. But damn, do we have a dice setup. Greymane and Jaina. The burst is real on the side of the negative win rate. Apparently they want to improve a little bit and push themselves to a positive win rate, because that is a very, very aggressive setup for them here. You play that with Malf. That's a hero that I would not have banned out right now. That doesn't really fit into the composition anymore too much. But yeah, I would have been more concerned about Tyrande and or Malfurion. Both of them work extremely well with the setup that they have here. I would have been concerned about Zeratul at all. If anything, if you want to ban one of those heroes from the last match, I would have banned Blaze, because Blaze with Bunker, not Combustion, would work extremely well with this lineup here. So now Li Ming gets banned out. And personally, if I'm negative win rate, I pick Blaze and I pick Tyrande or Malfurion. Whatever's left after we see Hold My Beer. Well, Hold My Beer already has their support, so you can literally play whatever of those two is meeting your preference more. Tyrande would be more aggressive and definitely give you the kills with Jaina and Greymane, but hey, whatever floats your boat. Balls on Hanzo right now, okay, and we are going to get Orphea as well. But yeah, for me personally, that's a Blaze pick on the other side. Maybe a Tyrael. But yeah, we don't have none of that. Rhaegar and Arthas instead. And Leoric. Alright. Yeah, again, personally I think Blaze would have been great with that. But either way, Arthas isn't too bad either. He's actually fantastic in a lot of these cases. You have Rhaegar for the Lightning Shield. But let's head into our second game with the lead for Hold My Beer, and let's find out if negative win rate is able to turn this around and tie the series here in our best of 5 at the ALW. Game on! Hold My Beer against negative win rate, as we see on the left side, Balsa on Hanzo, Kolatka on Leoric, Orphea on Gore Rider, or the other way around, Scope on White Main, and Bartek on ETC. And to the right side of the map, negative win rate in an attempt to improve that win rate. They are playing with Defsio on Greymane, Robo on Jaina, Pokishni on Anubarak, Rudy Rudeosh on Arthas, and Dyla on Rhaegar. Alright, the Wolfgang is pretty much in the house, as we have Greymane and Rhaegar played from the same team here. Talent choices here with the level 1, actually going for the Shadow Waltz build with the on point. Okay, a lot of damage coming from especially Jaina, getting that Blizzard through and starting to drop Leolo. Gotta love that skin. The janitor's once again in the house, and he is on a job, on a mission. Mr. Clean himself is helping. Oh, but Greymane! Oh, Arthas! All of them low as Orphea just shadow waltzes through them, but actually escapes. That in itself is already insane. But yeah, a hefty brawl there in the middle and a lot of damage exchange, but nobody is dying. But that was definitely a very, very aggressive opening. Khaldor over here needs to also be careful. He might actually fall. Yep, Arthur just walks him down. That slow is a bit too much for him to handle. Then again, granted, if you lose any hero in the early stages, it's best to lose Leoric. He's back a lot faster, he respawns on point, doesn't have any travel time, so there's very little experience that actually got lost through that kill. Still not quite what you want to happen, but if anyone dies, that's the one to go for. Prog on level 1 for ETC, working of course on the globes for the time being. We're seeing 2 caps already taken. And that starts to become a bit of a problem down here, since Spartak is starting to invade this, and there's still 2-3 heroes missing. So that camp is going to be a little bit delayed, and slowly and steadily more heroes are starting to trickle in. But Hanzo is busying himself on the left side, trying to take the Siege Giant camp himself, so they can't really invade too hard. We're already seeing the Bruiser camp taken, and that makes a big difference, of course. Khaldor, his Leoric, has taken the top shrine, as we are having in the bottom, focused by Jaina. The other rotation is slowly starting, and well, Leo might not survive this, but there's also the problem that of course we're having a couple more heroes rotating in, and one of them is exactly Gore Rider, who already did a fantastic job with the Shadow Walls earlier, can still get that kill against Greymane. Wow! It looks like we're seeing Leoric falling. No! They actually don't go in for the final hit. I think Arthur should fall there anyways. But gets healed by Rega. The game in which pretty much nobody died in team fights. The only victim so far, thanks to the earlier gank, was Leoric. But yeah, it's a bit crazy. I thought that Leoric would die again, and Arthur's, in my opinion, should have still fallen there, but Rega is able to get the heal through. So definitely a very aggressive lineup that we're seeing from both teams, where they're trying to be aggressive through rotations and ganks onto the lanes. Didn't quite work out for the players so far. Paralyzing Rage, by the way, has been claimed now on level 4 over Neil Peasants, so trying to get the additional slows through. Mid lane pressure in the meantime, and again Greymane is low, but for some reason that guy just doesn't die. It's like the 3rd time that he gets away. He really, really knows how to toe that line and make sure that he doesn't fall, so things are definitely a bit dicey here, especially since both of the shrines are now under the control of the red team. That should change soon though, since Jaina goes down, and they're trying to make the play for the Wolf as well. Gore Rider though is low, and Inubarak says, oh yeah baby, we got this, as the Wolf goes in for the final bite. Big bad Wolf takes out Coffin Girl. Alright, kill for kill at the bot lane. But at least Leoric was able to reclaim the top. That drain attempt didn't really work. And again, if you're playing Leoric, swing and drain. Swing and drain. If you can, always connect that swing first, so that you slow your target and then connect the drain, and not the other way around. Makes it much easier to actually land that thing. And here he gets that self-sustain. Level 7 is on the other hand on the board, and we actually see the Wizard Duelist coming in for Greymane. A bit of a battle at the bot lane now too, as Arthur's is still at the top, but here comes Orphea, and with Gore Rider's help, the kill is finally secured. The bot lane pressure with a 4 versus 3 is still on hold, my beer though. Start of the game, definitely a bit better for negative win rate this time. The winning Vessel now for the additional power and potency on the solo lane. Gore Rider is eating a bit of that frost damage that comes from Jaina, who's sitting at 5,000 damage so far. But with the rest of the setup here, we're still seeing Leo do his work at the top side. Greymane is starting to move in. Yep, there's a swing. Doesn't get that quite. ETC goes down at the bottom of the map, but up here to the top. Hanzo can't get the damage in, but the battle is still continuing. So it does at the bottom, where we are seeing the entire wall already being dropped. Nubarak, of course, helping with that too, since he can spawn the beetles that will soak up the tower shots. Still a 2-for-1 situation at the top, where Arthur's is the only one holding the lane. Greymane has already started with another mercenary camp to get a bit more lane control here, which has also been taken in the bottom. It's all over the place. This game is literally all over the place right now. Camps taken, heroes dropped, structures attacked, walls broken through, and ganks set up continuously here. So this is pretty solid work here from both sides, where they're still very, very even. And in terms of damage, Greymane, of course, is going to be a huge factor. If they can't get any kills against him, he's currently sitting on 2 stacks already for the Wizened Duelist. And the fight continues at the bottom of the map, where Bartek is absolutely isolated, but gets away for a few seconds before he's finally dropped, thanks to Nubarak diving in deep, and thanks to the cleanse that we have from Rhaegar. He's not getting punished for going in that far, and is able to move out. Go Rider the entire time just working in the damage here with Orphea, trying to go for the Shadow Walls kill. And again, Greymane, you gotta be kidding me! What? This is like the 4th or 5th time that he gets away with nothing. Now the 4th that the bot lane is of course gonna fall. Up to the top, a ring around the Rosie setup that we're seeing between the two of them. Yep, there's the Drain connecting, and that's the big one, especially with the Willing Vessel. And look at the mana on the side of Arthas. He can't sustain that, and he knows that too. He needs to back off from this one. But the bottom fort has now fallen. That's of course a big setback for Hold My Beer. In the middle of the map, they're still waiting, trying to bait Greymane a bit with Scope sitting there on the side. But it's just not happening right now. We're definitely seeing negative win rate, making a couple of really good arguments. They're having the double wolf action already on the Bruiser camp itself. Still the attack down here as Jaina goes down, successfully baited apparently into that spot. Now that we have double wolf already completing the Bruiser camp, that also means that the top lane is going to be pushed heavily. Kolatka on his Leoric has no chance of defending that alone. Absolutely no way. He needs some help. Still seeing Orphea down at the bottom against the Nubarak. Gorrider should be fine in this setup, to be honest. There's no one in the mid lane to get the Dragon Knight. That making the play and fight it. No way. Greymane is again getting away. Finally, someone kills him. The arrow right between the eyes as he falls. We're seeing Orphea at the bottom of the map, still fighting with the Nubarak and nearly falling there. Rhaegar goes down though, and that's a good one. So the double kill definitely helping them there. Gorrider sustaining himself for now. They're still having a few of the heroes in the mid lane, securing the dragon statue, making sure that it can't be taken, that nobody sneaks it in. And Leo is left alone to his own devices up at the top. They're still going for the play at the bottom of the map, trying to reclaim one of those shrines, but things are starting to get dicey here. Like, really dicey. I mean, this is going back and forth the entire time. 5 kills against 5. Slight lead in experience now for Hold My Beer. Cocoon is on the ground. Really trying to get that Dragon Knight, especially with 3 heroes in the middle right now. Nubarak is moving out, but nobody captures it. Finally, they're going for the attempt, and they're going to get it in time. Dragon Knight is not channeled in the mid lane. Whitemane could have even helped to claim it a little bit earlier, but didn't step onto the point. Heroic ability is still coming back off cooldown here as they're trying the arrow in the middle, the side, and the play for Greymane and Jaina. But Jaina dies first, and Greymane is Greymane is obliterated, but not before jumping in deep and taking down Orphea and ripping out her throat. Again, 2 kills for 1. Good trade for the blue team. Hold My Beer getting a little bit more momentum here. Water Elemental is still there. But they are having a problem, and that's that Hanzo is coming into play now too. It's a 4 versus 3 that are fighting here, and you don't want to do that. Cocoon is not ready, but, well, Entomb is. The problem is nobody follows up with the damage. Finally, they're trying to make the play. Dilla heals himself, but still falls. And they go for a Nubarak next. He dives out. Arthas is trying to escape here, but thanks to Whitemane, they're actually keeping him in the fight for quite some time here, and now Bartek is getting the channel through the Dragon Knight for Hold My Beer with the level 13 talent on top of it too. Starting to move in here and get some structural value. The fight in the middle didn't really grant them anything yet, but it looks like Greymane might actually be punished for this. Damage comes in, but it's not enough to take him down. It's close though. They're really trying to get the kill against him. But Greymane has been very resilient throughout this entire game. Tried a few times, but I feel Greymane should have fallen like 5 times or something. So yeah, with that, we're actually now seeing them jump in once again through the middle for the fort itself. Could maybe focus down on the bot lane a little bit to make sure that there is not the entire pressure throughout the entire game against them. But I mean, as it happens, we're still seeing them do pretty well now in kills too. I mean, there's a 4-man setup against them. A lot of resources actually up to the top to deal with the Dragon Knight, and nobody's pushing out the middle at this point. They're a little bit late with that rotation here. Dragon Knight doesn't really get a lot of value outside of the fort in the middle. I feel they could have played this at the top lane a little bit better. The team didn't rotate with it, so they couldn't really get additional value. Now that level 13 talents are also ready on both sides, it means that we have on level 13 the Earth Shield for Rhaegar, and that obviously gives him the chance to get those Ancestrals through. in the later stages of the fight. Adds that extra second that you sometimes need to get the channel through. 9 stacks for Greymane at this point. So the damage output, we can take a look at that. Should actually be pretty decent. 21,000 for him, 24,000 for Arthurs, who's currently holding the top damage on the team. 41,000 for Hanzo on the other hand. That's what we're seeing here. And the big play for the Bruiser Cam. Everybody is focusing on this. Oh, the triple arrow! The sexy plays here from Hold My Beer as they get Jaina and Greymane. The Entomb into Arrow into Orphea ult. Fantastic setup. If anything, I'm surprised that they did lose only 2 heroes, but that was actually really, really well done here. Yep, there comes the Water Elemental. They have the Bruiser Cap now. Hanzo falls, on the other hand, walking straight into the damage here. Top lane, by the way, Bruiser Cap is still getting some value. Cocoon on the ground. EDC with a slide in. They're looking for more. They're looking for more. They're looking for Arthurs. They're looking for Rhaegar. They're looking for everything. And everybody runs away. You gotta be kidding me. Everybody gets away again. But they have the 2 camps. They have level 16, they have the level lead, they have the camp at the top lane, which does solid damage, even with Greymane finally moving into play and trying to take it down. That still is putting damage onto the structure itself. And at the bottom of the map, the fight just continues. They're trying to go straight for ETC, but he can, of course, move away from this unless the stun connects, and it doesn't. So with Leo now having Royal Focus and Ominous Wraith, can use that during the fights. Greymane was still able to save the 4 top side, as you would expect. But still, this game is getting a bit bananas. 10 kills against 7. Definitely not spiraling out of control as the last one did. Negative win rate with a much better approach here now. Entomb is in again. Here comes the arrow against 2. Moshpit isn't ready, but they still get the slide in. Cocoon is on the ground. They need to try and burn that down. Mana is low. Dilla, oh, he goes down. Just a second before Ancestral is back, he dies. Leo moves in again. Here comes the EDC slide, and they get both of them. They go straight in for the double kill. The Shadow Walls to the base here from Orphea gets all of them destroyed in one line, and that is Arthurs and Jaina dead. Team Frost was just obliterated by the girl. By a little coffin girl here, despite the level 16 that came now in for a negative win rate. They are all of a sudden starting to fall a bit behind here. A 6 kill difference between the 2 teams, and now with the Siege Giants taken and nobody ready to defend the bot lane, we're actually seeing the Siege Giants do a lot of work, as topside and Nubarak is at least trying to prevent another Dragon Knight from being taken. Orphea still at the bottom of the map pushing this out, and this looks more and more like we're going to see a fort fall. Nobody's dealing with that at this point. Nobody's dealing with it, and how could they? That fort is going to fall, and Bartek is currently getting another Dragon Knight here in the middle, which means that they can make the play for maybe even a keep at this point. They're moving through the middle as we speak, and things are starting to look a little bit rough for negative win rate. Game number 2, they already lost 1 map. This would put them at a severe disadvantage in the best of 5 series here at the ALW, the Polish League, as we're looking at that semi-final in the upper bracket. And they're just going straight for it. Entomb this time, bit of a blind one. Nice attempt, but it fails. And Leo dies as a result. Went a bit too deep for it. Of course, going to spawn on point again in just a few seconds, but still, that sets them back for now. The push at the bot lane is dealt with as Greymane is finally taking care of those 2 Siege Giants. The rest of the team, on the other hand, still wants to fight here in the middle. They go for Gore right over the Shadow Walls. You have a little bit of displacement potential. That's exactly what he uses there. A nice punt, as we are seeing. Orphea still trying to get away, but in the long run, she's going to fall. She goes down, but so does Jaina. Greymane, on the other hand, gets the kill against Whitemane. They're going for Hanzo. Hanzo is dead too, and that's 4 kills right now. Only ETC is still alive. The question is for how long. The Dragon Knight is moving out, and he gets away. He gets away for now, but the momentum shifts again. Negative win rate is able to get a lot of momentum going for themselves here as they're aiming to take the fort in the middle up to the top of the map. We are also seeing another big push by the Bruiser camp, trying to eliminate another structure. So that game that looked for quite a few minutes as it was pretty much, I don't want to say over, but really leading in favor of one team is all of a sudden starting to turn a bit again. 14 stacks on Greymane also give him, of course, a lot of damage right now. I mean, that's 14 additional %, can't sneeze on that. So for the time being, they're actually starting to look a little bit better. And they're also closing the gap in experience, which is hugely important considering that level 20 is so close for Hold My Beer. Another camp taken in the bot lane. ETC, with the help of Leoric, is at least able to get their own top side. But yeah, things are definitely getting interesting. Structural position is exactly the same. Gore Rider able to move out here at the bottom of the map. But yeah, things are starting to get a bit closer. I'm still waiting for that combo again. If you have now Entomb with level 20 upgrade and then Hanzo's Arrow plus the Mosh Pit, this could be an absolute death trap right now. If they wait for 20, which comes any moment, and then we are seeing that Entomb connecting, that would be a disaster. And negative win rate is aware of it. Thank God. They're moving away, and they definitely should right now. I mean, yes, if you know your opponent is hitting Storm Talents, then get the hell out of there. They're half a level away from hitting their own, so yeah. That camp still taken. Yep, there's the Entomb, and that's the end of an Uberak. What? Oh, the cleanse. Nicely done by Rhaegar. That kind of irritated me for a second. I was like, wait, what happened? Barely gets out, but that was close. That was too close for comfort. If you have a Leo against you with Buried Alive, you need to get the hell out of there. Now again, that is a low cooldown that got burned. It's going to be back in 20 seconds, so I highly doubt that's going to play a big role here. It was a good move by Leo either way. But now we're seeing them with the anti-magic shell on level 20 for Arthas, having the rewind, which for Nubarak alone gives him so much more CC potential, which he already has. And Tomb is back in 6 seconds. Yeah, Hanzo gets attacked, jumps out here. Fight is coming in. Bartek looks for the mosh pit opportunity. Cocoon on the ground against Whitemane. He has the pit. And Orphea with the damage. Ancestral comes in and down goes ETC. But it looks like we're seeing Jaina fall too. Well, maybe not. Oh, Jaina is dead, but so is Leo. And they're not stopping there. They're trying to make the play for Orphea. And that's the counter kill from Hanzo against Greymane. Whitemane is still alive. And Orphea comes in from the back, trying to get some damage in against Arthas. It looks like that might be the kill. Waltz to the ground. Arthas gets hammered here, and they're still following it up on Nubarak with even more damage. Rhaegar's on the run too, but that could literally be another Dragonite in this game. And Stilla is trying to get away with Rhaegar, and of course, thanks to the speed, he's able to mount through and move away. But that is at least another secured shrine at the top. And Nubarak is trying to move bot side, but if the channel starts right away, they might be able to get it. And Nubarak dives in and is saving the day for now. That could have been game. And Nubarak saves it for now. He delays it a little bit more. Looking at especially the damage output, you can see that Orphea with 80,000 damage is definitely running the numbers here. Hanzo has 76,000, but still, like, that is a lot of work that Coffin Gun has put in here. They could get the channel, and Nubarak dives in. Oh, and it's not enough. Rhaegar at the top is also cornered by not only Hanzo, but Whitemane, who moves in too. And that's the end of Rhaegar. And once again, just so close to having Ancestral available. The Dragonite punts the dog away in the middle, but they are, of course, looking for game here. 18 kills against 13, and they are making the play for the keep. They have everybody here, with the exception of Hanzo, who's now moving his way in together with Whitemane. And now that they have ETC freed up from the cocoon, they can go for the kill against Arthas, and they get it. The stun is there from ETC as he power slides through. The keep is down, and so should the core. 2 heroes down, no Ancestral. Arthas is dead too, and even with the Dragonite losing quite a bit of HP here, they should be able to make the game, well, you should really start to focus on that core with the Dragonite. That's exactly what they're doing right now. This is going to be it. 50% on the core, all 5 still alive. And they are starting to focus down the main structure, with the exception of Kolotka, who is currently just trying to get another kill in. That doesn't quite happen, but the game is over as Hold My Beer is taking the 2-0 lead in the best of 5. Things are tough. Things are tough for negative win rate. They got a lot closer to tying the series than the last game, but then as it turns out, Hold My Beer just a little bit too strong towards the end of that game. Now with the 2-0 lead here in the semi-final of the ALW, We have Hold My Beer, one map win away from moving on to the grand final, where they then have the honor to go up against the Leftovers. It's a pretty shitty price, to be honest. It's like, hey, congratulations! You just won the semi-final! And your prize is a best of 5 against the Leftovers. Yeah, but of course there's prize money on the line, so even if they would only make 2nd place in the tournament, that would still be a lot better than ending up 3rd or 4th. So obviously you still want to win this one, but again, if you have the Leftovers waiting in the grand final for you, you know that you are going to fight an uphill battle right there. But then again, Hold My Beer so far has done pretty well in this series. They showed also a lot of resilience. Went sometimes a little bit overboard with the aggression, but then again, turning it around and winning the 2nd game proved them right in the end. Now we're having a ban against Maiev, Battlefield of Eternity. A little bit interested to see how that draft is going to pan out, but I could definitely see an earlier Nubarok pick again. We had that so far twice, once from Hold My Beer and once from negative win rate. There's obviously a few other heroes that gain a lot of value on this map. Hanzo's already banned out, but you can still pick into Tyrande. Greymane would be another good pick again here, since he obviously gets so much value. Yeah, Liming too. I mean, again, the ban against Sylvanas, just not really willing to risk getting snowballed here. But so, Liming and Nubarak, both great picks. Tyrande, another fantastic pick here early on in Battlefield. All of them pretty fantastic. I feel that one hero that was missing a little bit this series was actually Tyrande. Normally we have her picked a lot more aggressively, but the teams haven't really considered her too much here. And there's a Nubarak again. Alright. So, a Nubarak taken right away. And with that, let's see what we're happening on the other side. Again, Liming right now should be a lock-in if you have a Liming player. She's great against the Nubarak. You can burn down the cocoon really quickly. She's fantastic on Battlefield because you continuously can poke during the stalemate battles against an opponent. It's exactly what we're seeing. They get Liming and they get Greymane again. I like that opening from them a lot, simply because they seem to prefer Greymane a lot as it is. And if you already have a preference towards Greymane, where other teams would have probably preferred a different hero just from a meta perspective, but if you already have a preference on that hero, then on this map it comes through even more. So Greymane and Liming, given who's playing here, given the teams, makes a lot of sense as the first rotation. Now with the Nubarak, personally I would have preferred to see either Malfurion or Tyrande being played, but they go for Whitemane, which still can add a lot of value. Just if you want to go for quick kills, that's usually the better setup. And they go for Atanas. Now Atanas has of course the blinds that he can throw through against Greymane, but I don't really like that choice too much. Atanas is oftentimes a bit of a noob trap, especially on Battlefield of Eternity. Granted, it is the map where he gets the most value out of the amateur opponent, but it's still a very, very niche pick that you're usually served better going into a different setup. What they could have, for example, used here, if they want to go for an offlaner that is a little bit different, they could have still thrown Arthas into the mix here. Simply because he does well against Greymane in general and slows down the auto attacks. He would also add a little bit more of a beefy side lane to Nubarak to keep them there. Atanas is okay if you are really focused and worried about racing and you want to have amateur opponent there, but you need to reliably connect the swaps to really get Atanas value, and we see that occasionally, but still. So again, on the other side we have Arthas now and we have Tyrande, so that Tyrande setup, Howling Blast into Tyrande stun. Question for me is who's going to be the main tank, because I personally expect that Arthas is going to play the side lane for them. Let's see, what else do we have there? The last two picks really interest me now from their perspective. Okay, Medivh. Okay, that might change things a little bit. Ooh, Medivh and Vala. That's an interesting setup. That's a very, very interesting setup for this. Now I like Atanas even less. And Garrosh on the other side. Garrosh, Arthas and Tyrande. I feel the setup that we are seeing for Hold My Beer could be so much better if they would have swapped out Atanas. Especially if you already plan going into Medivh, then it would be really good for you to play Arthas, because it just negates one of the biggest weaknesses of Arthas, the mobility into the backline that a portal can take care of. As it stands, let's see if it works out. Game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, coming up as Hold My Beer goes up against negative win rate once again. Game number 3, and theoretically also the last game of the series here, as we have on the left Hold My Beer with Balsa on Medivh. We're seeing Kolatka on Atanas, Scope on Whitemane, Bartek on Nuburak, and Gore Rider is playing Vala. On the right side of the map, we have Rudy Rudeosh on Arthur's Dylan Tyrande, Defcio on Liming, Robo on Garrosh, and Pokishni on Greymane. It's a little bit of a weird setup that Atanas can work out. There is the amateur opponent, as expected, the talent to drop the Immortals quickly, but the big question is, can you reliably get those swaps? It would have been a much better composition if they would have swapped in Arthas instead of Atanas. Could have also used a few other heroes here to really get sick value on the offlane and for the team fights later on. They decided to go with Atanas instead. He can at least provide the blind after level 10, so that Greymane has a bit of a tougher time. But as it stands, it is a setup where they are going to have to work hard and really look for those combos through Atanas. Let's see if that works out for them. The lineup on the other side has a lot of potential. If we can see good follow-ups after Garrosh moves in and gets a throw through, then Tyrande might just be able to deliver that stun that leads to the kill directly, with Greymane and Liming homing in onto the target. Arthur's going, by the way, into the trade build here, trying to get even additional damage out. No Howling Blast preference on level 1, but instead we're seeing the Internal Hunger. Nuburak already dealing a bit of damage there. So does Liming, by the way. With especially the level 1 talent on the side of Nuburak. We have the Legion of Beetles coming through. That was always the downside of playing Liming against Nuburak, but a good Liming will always be able to play around that. And it's more so that it's integrated against the Cocoon that you're really looking for. But again, that said, we're still seeing Arthas with the potential, at least, to have quite a lot of solid damage towards the late game. The battle down to the bottom of the map over the camp is starting, though. Liming flanking from behind here. Whoa! And actually getting the first kill in, trying to get the second, and is able to make it happen. Double kill and the triple. 3 down and the camp taken. An absolute disaster for negative win rate here at the bottom of the map. Vala, very, very ballsy on the other hand. I mean, her moving down behind the enemy team, if they would have reacted a little bit quicker, realized what was happening and just pounced on her as a 4-man, that would have been a dead Vala for sure. But they realized it a moment too late. That already came as the first hero was down, focused on the battle on the point itself. And that now leads us into a pretty significant lead with 3 kills against 0 for Hold My Beer. Also, Vala obviously going into an arrow build to make sure that she gets a much quicker clear on the camps themselves, and also on the Immortal, of course. Trying to go and stack now, the level 4 talent. And talking about stacks, we have Arthur sitting at 8. So this is an endless stacking talent that we have there, and he is currently nearly sitting at the 40 extra damage. He's going to get through that, but the mana management is another big advantage. You're going to get through it. With that said, 25 stacks also on Medivh, and that's of course the important one, trying to get that. Oh my god, if they can grab that, that would be fantastic for them. The big fight and the kill. Greymane is dead, and they are about to take their camp here. There's still a portal on the ground. Camp is still being fought over, but it looks like they might even get another kill, and yes, indeed they do. The swap is there against Tyrande too. Oh my god, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare for negative win rate. They lose 4, they lose the Shaman camp, and now it's just open season on the Immortal for Hold My Beer. What an opening into this game for the blue team. Fantastic start. 28 stacks on Medivh. Nuburak pushing out the bot lane. 7 kills against 0. They win the easy halftime show, and it is a total nightmare for negative win rate, who somehow have to find the kills to come back into this game, because now this match is walking away from them. They are already down 2 maps in the best of 5, and this would be the end if they'd not somehow start that comeback. They're trying to burn down the shields at least a little bit, but it doesn't change the fact that not only are we going to see a massive Immortal on the side of Hold My Beer now, we are also going to see a talent advantage as the push happens through the top lane. Things are looking pretty dire for them. Arrow repeats. Quest's been taken. They're going to get Greymane here eventually. Greymane is going to fall. It's going to take a little bit, but Greymane is definitely going to die. Well, actually, might be able to escape down to the bottom here. And indeed he does. Nobody's cutting that path off, but the rest of the team is actually still pushing through the top. There's nobody at the bot lane, which actually surprises me a little bit. A 5-man push against 3 topside. So Arthur's is at least getting some value at the bottom of the map. The fort is 100% gonna fall, and they're diving in deep with the portal now. And they're gonna get the swap, and that will lead to the kill against Li Ming. Li Ming is gonna fall. Well, is she not? Wow, they actually managed to kill no one. To be absolutely honest with you, it was harder to not kill a hero here than kill someone. HeroesLounge has the perfect thought there. They're pushing with 5. I mean, the push with 5 you can argue about. You should have maybe left 1 hero bot side. But if you push with 5, you're obviously going to get the fort. They make a great engage with Medivh happen. And then they focus on 3 different targets at 3 different points in time. And they're not getting a single kill. But finally the swap comes in. And I got to give some credit to our tennis player here. He's actually doing a lot of work. They're going in again for the kill, but don't tell me. There we go. They get the kill and Medivh gets the quest completed. They get the double as Garrosh and Tyrande fall, but Li Ming at least was able to get the counter kill against Vala, but that doesn't help her. Nope. We only have... Of course, we have Greymane survive. Who else? Greymane again survives with like non-hit points whatsoever. But yeah, they're all getting away from this one. So still, as it stands, the wall has been opened up. We have some damage on the keep itself. Still a 1.5 level lead that's on the board. Could have played that Immortal phase a little bit better, I want to say. They lost a lot of experience at the bottom of the map, and they also lost the entire wall here. So that's a bit of a setback. Could have been handled differently if Artanis would have moved down to the bottom or someone else to soak the experience here. But it doesn't change the fact that with 10 kills against 1, HeroesLounge is far ahead in this game and has set themselves up for a smooth victory unless there is a good turnaround temper negative win rate. And they're trying to look for that chance, but now Garrosh again being attacked here, barely gets out. As we have the damage come through. And Vala, by the way, on 10 stacks already. He has also the level 10s. Gives him a little bit of momentum. That should lead to another fort taken out. Yep, there comes the attack. Li Ming is down, and that's the end of Garrosh. Yeah, Garrosh is dead, and as you can see, the Cocoon against Tyrande should deliver another kill into their hands. Yep, kill secured as Tyrande falls, and now the fort itself is going to be obliterated too. The Immortal is spawning in 8 additional seconds, and that should be another big Immortal for the team in blue. They're doing fantastic here. There's no question about it. I mean, yes, Greymane is trying to get the damage in by stacking, but we have Vala with 11 stacks already. Gorrider can use the repeating arrow to just get that burn down super quickly. Arthur's at the top side. There's still, if you want to critique them, there's still a couple of things that they could do better. They're losing a lot of lane experience right now, where a team like the Leftovers would definitely rotate heroes onto the lanes and make sure that they don't miss out on that. But the situation as it stands is still absolutely fantastic for HeroesLounge. So they do exceptionally well. Greymane went a little bit on a suicide mission there. I mean, didn't really have a chance of getting a kill. Was trying to make a difference though. Shaman Camp is now taken, nearly level 10 for the red team, but they're already getting chased once again. Cocoon is on the ground. They can literally use Cocoon right now to force the fight, and that's exactly what they do. Portal comes in, Cocoon is on the ground, they go for Greymane, he's already dead, and now they can just simply focus on the Tyrande, who shouldn't have a chance in the world to get out of this one. Nope, there we go. Also, 15 kills against 1. What a slaughter in this game. HeroesLounge, they show that they have also the experience in the amateur leagues. They play Division 1 in HeroesLounge a long time. They have the experience there. We're going to see in the grand final if they can still measure up against the former pro team, but they are definitely currently showing that they have played on the competitive level, even if it's only on the amateur level for a long time right now. 100% Immortal is going to come down through the bot lane, and that bot lane already gets attacked. Nice dodge by Arthas as he pops the army against the swap on Artanis. But things now that we have level 10 versus level 10 abilities, a little bit better. Big ult from Artanis coming through though, and Arthas is too far out. The army is already over, he goes down, they make the play for Artanis himself now, but even that doesn't work out, and that Immortal hasn't even entered the stage yet. They could literally end the game here. We have Arthas down, we have 13 talents, they're diving deep for the kill against Greymane, and they get also the kill against Garrosh. The FCO has realized this is over, is at least burning down the Cocoon, a couple of B-steps coming in, but now that the Immortal is obliterating the bottom keep, this should be the end of the game. This should be the end of this series. They're doing so well here. And again, Medivh with a setup. Here comes the dive, and that's a kill. Not a double, since Garrosh makes the play to save Arthas. But Li Ming is down, and the core should fall soon. They go for Greymane again, and they drop him. At least mid-defaults, and that's something, but so does the core slowly and steadily. The Immortal isn't even in melee mode yet, still on ranged mode. 30% left, and ladies and gentlemen, we have a 3-0 victory for Hold My Beer as they take the series and move on to meet the leftovers in the grand final.